Hey guys, I'm BJ the Brave, welcome to the channel, and if you are new to the game, I wanted to bring you a really good budget-friendly Swordcraft deck. When you first jump into the game, one of the things you're wondering is, where do I start? I haven't got all the legendaries, what cards do I play? If this is the case for you, or maybe you are playing one of the other classes and you're just jumping into Swordcraft, then this should hopefully be a really useful guide. So what we're going to do is dive into the deck. I'm going to talk through some of the options that you could upgrade as you start to build your collection, and then we'll jump into a game to kind of show you how it works in practice. All right, so let's take a look at the deck. Okay, so what I've tried to do first of all is build this deck in a way to be budget friendly, that it's primarily bronze cards. We've got a few silvers, and in terms of golds, we've just got a very small handful. So all I've got in here is 4 golds, and I have got 1 legendary. And the reason for that is that you do get a free beginner deck when you first start the game. And so I've included Albert as the 1 legendary because Albert is in the beginner decks. Okay, so this means that day 1 you should be able to get access to Albert if you choose to go down the Swordcraft route. If you don't have the Albert though, and for whatever reason, then you can simply play. If we look at the 5-drop, I'll show you the card that I'm thinking. Olivia's also good, and Odin's also good, just in case you get any of the other legendaries. But potentially you could play Amalia, which is a gold card. Or, to be honest with you, you could just play another Dark Side, because Dark Side is a bronze card, and what that will do is just give you additional reach. So let's just break down the deck. What we've got is 3 Flashblade Quick Bladers. You want to get these onto the board early. We want to build a nice curve, so each turn trying to make maximum use of our play points, building up the board. We've got Rubies to help this card here. When you play it, it's Fanfare, which means that it will select a card in your hand and return it to your deck, and then draw a card. So this helps you correct your hand. Indomitable Fighter's really good because you can play it on 2 for a 2/2, which is really good stats, by the way. If you want to play something proactively on turn 2, just a 2/2 is like the norm, like that's the standard. But what's good with Indomitable Fighter is it scales quite well, because in the late game, this enhanced 4 means that if you play it on when you've got 4 play points, it will actually come down with a buff of +3/3, so it will be a 5/5 instead. So a really nice mid-game unit. Luminous Lance Troopers are very crucial silver, and I would definitely recommend this being one of the first silvers that you get when you're playing Swordcraft. We've recently got Seria Gunslinger, which is a really nice value bronze and makes its way into lots of Swordcraft meta decks. Very good at battling for tempo in the early game, pinging off our enemy 1 health units and developing our own board. Samurai is fantastic. It can come on and remove an opponent's 2-drop, or in the late game, it gains Bane. Sorry. So once you've unlocked Super Evolution in the late game, it gets Bane, which means it can destroy anything regardless of defense, even if it's got barrier on. So this is a really nice hard removal in the late game. On turn 3, you can play Hounds of War. You can play the Iron Crown Majesty, which allows you to play a Steel-clad Knight, and it allows you to play a Knight. So it gives you a nice wide board. If you've already got a wide board, you can use it to give +1/1 to everything that's already on the field. So this is a nice flexible 3-drop, and it's a silver rarity, so it's quite easy to get. Now in the 4-drops, you have got Zirconia. This is our first gold that we're putting in the deck, guys. You should be able to get this fairly soon into playing. And what Zirconia is your first really good target for your first evolution point, right? So you can evolution Zirconia, and she buffs the whole board, and Zirconia can attack themselves. In addition, in the 4 slots, we've got Nightly Rending. This is a really nice bronze card in a budget-friendly deck because it's hard removal. So it basically destroys any enemy follower. And in addition to that, it summons a Steel-clad Knight. So it furthers our goal of developing and snowballing the board whilst dealing with their board. So it's a really good budget-friendly card. Now, in the 5 drops, we've got some very strong cards indeed. We've got Luminous Mage, which is a silver card, but it's also a top-tier meta card. So top meta Swordcraft decks will run this, so this is going to scale well as you build your collection. In addition, we have the Night Shadow Ninja Master. This card is pretty cool when you're first starting out because it's got Ambush. Ambush is very powerful. Basically, it goes into hiding. A big cloud of smoke comes around the card, and it means your opponent can't target it. It can't attack with follows. It can't hit it with spells. Really can only be dealt with by like random damage, like AoE damage or random damage. So it's really difficult for your opponent to remove. And it's also not a bad idea to somewhat counterintuitively play this guy and then use an evo point straight away so that he grows to become a 6/7, and that makes him really difficult to take out whilst he's in ambush. And then next turn it comes out and it can hit face and do a lot of damage. Now we have got Albert, and I said there's 1 copy of this. You do get it in the beginner deck. It's the first legendary. You will want a set of 3 eventually, but just having the 1's great because it gives you a nice finisher. What you can do with Albert is on turn 9, you can use him 9 player points. That gives him the enhance ability, which will then do an AoE damage, area of effect damage of 3 damage to all enemy followers, and Albert gains can attack 2 times. Why is that important? Because if you super evo Albert, that means that he will have 6 attack, meaning he can attack face twice because he's got Storm, so he can attack face the turn he comes on, and that means that Albert will do 12 damage from hand. So a very, very powerful finisher, one of the top meta cards in the class and in the game, and I think having a single copy in this type of deck really helps. And finally, to help Albert out, and those games where you don't draw Albert, we've got some really other good late game finishers as well. We've got 3 copies of the Centurion, so similar thing to Albert, comes on with Storm, 7 attack. If you super evo, this thing has 10 attack, right? So that's 10 damage from face with 3 of these. And last but not least, we have a couple of gold cards in the form of Ravening Tentacles, which not only heals you for 5, but more importantly, deals 5 damage to your opponent. In a pinch, you can use this for removal, but what you really want to be doing is hitting the leader in the face. So getting him down to 5 and then playing this to win the game. So that is the deck, guys. You want to be mulligan for your Quick Blader and your 2 drops, and really looking for that early curve. If you're going second, I would always keep Zirconia because you can evo Zirconia on turn 4, and then you draw into your late game finishers as you go. Okay, guys. So in practice, what we want to do with this deck is find our early game stuff first. So we have got some removal in Dark Side. 2, 3. This is an enhanced 4, so we can play that on 4. So 2, 3, 4 looks pretty good. I think I'm actually going to get rid of Dark Side here. Oh, and we find the Quick Stepper just in time. So we'll play Quick Blader, put some damage on. He does remove it with the Stormy Blast. Now, this is where Ruby is going to be good. We're going to put the Centurion back because it's way too far away, right, to be playing an 8-drop. So we're going to put that back, and it draws a different card from our deck. We haven't lost that card. It just shuffles it back into your deck. So you've still got a really good chance of drawing it in the later game. Now, in order to push a little bit of damage to face here, we're going to use the Hound of War to clear this. And then just attack face. So we're going to use the Nightly Rending on this. And attack again. Okay, so now we're going to play the Indomitable Fighter. And you see there, because we played it on 4, it gets its enhanced bonus. And then we're going to play the Quick Stepper. And I think we're going to evolve this guy. Because this helps us trade with this board most effectively, right? If we trade the 4-4 into his 3-3, and then we don't have a very effective trade, so we're going to actually put this pressure on our enemy face to try and end the game. And so what we can do now is we can play Albert down. We can evolve Albert. And we need 2 more damage. So if we use our extra play point and cast Darkside on ourselves, we do 2 damage to us, but we get an extra +2 attack, and then we finish the game. Darkside's really good because you can use it for removal against your opponent, or you can use it to buff your own unit. Okay, so one more example. We're definitely going to keep Lance Trooper. We always would do in this build. We're going to get rid of this, and I think we're going to get rid of Samurai as well. Actually, we'll keep Ruby because we might need to course correct the hand. No Quick Blade at this time, so we are going to have to skip turn 1. So we're going to just use the Samurai to clear. Searing Fire Newt. So now we're going to play the Iron Crown and get the 2 different units. So he's doing very well at keeping up with our tempo here. Now next turn we would have Zirconia, right? So if we do this and we play a Seria is going to do 1 damage into this. And then this guy can attack because the Lance Trooper says that whenever an allied officer follower enters the field, give it rush. So it can rush means you can attack the turn that you come onto the board. And this is where we can now play Zirconia. And Zirconia is... actually, do you know what? We're going to play Luminous Mage instead. Make better use of our player points. The reason for that is... And then go face. The reason for that is that if he leaves any of this up, Zirconia has a bigger board to buff next turn. So Zirconia now is going to actually buff this board. We're going to use Evolution Point on Zirconia, which means Zirconia can attack and clear the 2/2. And all these that we had on the board have now got buffed stats and can actually attack our opponent's face. Ouch! That is a big bad AoE. But we have quite a few options here. So we can, for example, Nightly Render in this, which draws us a body. And then we can Ruby, and I think we'll get rid of a Nightly Rendering and try to find some late game. That's not quite it. So we've put in a lot of damage. He's down to 5. We're just looking for one of those late game finishers now. So I think what we do here is we put away Luminous. See what we draw. Okay, that's lovely. So next turn, we've now found one of our... So we're going to play the Hounds of War. If you play this on 6, you get 3 copies of them. And that means that we can kind of clear this board out quite nicely. Now, we can't attack these 2 little dragons because they have got an ability called Intimidate, which means that followers can't attack them. But that's okay. We managed to clear the board. We're still on 20 health, so there's very little threat coming back. He's really just forced to defend against our aggro. And now we've got our Centaur ready to go, which hopefully should win us the game. So we drop the Centaur. Now we don't need to. Generally, we'd be looking to super evolve to get the maximum reach, which would give you 10. Obviously, we had him down to 5, so we didn't need to do that. But just to show you, you've got big 10 damage from hand. GG. So there you have it, guys. There is my Swordcraft budget deck. There's the QR code if you want to quickly copy it. I am going to show you now how I would evolve this deck into a really top tier meta deck, but I do think this is going to be very, very good out of the blocks, and you're going to start climbing ladder very, very quickly with this version without, as you can see, needing too many you know, expensive big cards straight away. So I hope that helps. If you enjoyed this, then like I say, I'm BJ the Brave. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. We do weekly meta reports, game guides, and all of the Shadowverse Worlds Beyond news. So appreciate all of your support. And let me show you now how I would evolve the deck. So basically, I run an aggro deck, which is, where is it? Here it is. So you're going to see some similarities. So you can see we've still got the Centaur, but only one copy, and we've got 2 Ravening Tentacles at the end. But I have actually developed into 3 Alberts for that end game. I've also got a couple of Odins. Odins have also got Storm, and they actually destroy a unit that's on the board. They actually banish it, so they don't even get last words abilities. So you can see that I've really got lots of top end burst, if you like, to win the game. But you can see the Zirconias are still in there, the Luminous Mages are still in there, and even in the early game we've got a Ruby, we've got the Flash Step, the Quick Blades, the Samurais, the Serias, the Lance Troopers. So many of those cards, the Hounds of War, so many of those cards we talked about are in there. There are a few extra golds in here in the Philidou. Philidou's a really good card. You can play this for 2 and evolve it, and it will destroy an opponent's unit, and then obviously Philidou can attack as a 4/4 itself. So there's a few additions that we've tweaked and we've changed, but you can see that hopefully the skeleton of the beginner deck is firmly embedded in here. And this is a top tier deck. You get to, you know, masters and diamond rank no problem with this if you put in the time. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you hopefully in the next one. If you found this useful, check out this video next. Take it easy, guys.